Hey, it's a Vinegar Syndrome release. Uh, which we've done Vinegar Syndrome recently, but this is the first one that they've actually sent me to review in a very long time. So either they're getting desperate for reviews, I kid, or maybe we're finally making leeway to get back on some more press lists, right? I mean, I was getting everything for a time. Like, I got everything. I even got the super rare stuff at one time sent to me for review. But, either they discovered that I suck or maybe the times change. I don't know. But nonetheless, here we are with Eight Eyes. Um, Produced and directed by the same folks behind Joe Bob Briggs and his drive-in show on Shudder. The director here is Austin Jennings. Justin Martell also produced this thing. I know them, or know Justin from back in the day when I used to get stuff from Troma for review. I feel like the director of this film might have actually sent me stuff at one time too from Troma. Maybe they've got traumatized both. I don't know. But this movie here, and if I'm wrong about a couple of things, I apologize. I watched it. Basically, you have a couple that are, they attend a wedding and they're in another country. I think it's Serbia. I believe they're in Serbia. If I'm wrong, I apologize again. And as they're kind of wrapping stuff up, they run across this dude with one gnarly eye, and his name is Saint Peter. And he kind of, from that point on, kind of ends up wherever they are, and they kind of end up going, around the his area with him. But of course, there is sinister things among us, and Saint Peter ends up basically doing some stuff with these folks, and they end up in a situation that you can see coming from a mile away. But the dread of getting to that situation is very much worth the watch. This thing then eventually spirals into I don't want to say torture porn, but it has shades of that, but it has shades of a lot of things. And then it gets to like the last act, which is 100% kind of off the wall, really really gnarly in a way, in a good way, and things get really weird because throughout the movie he's you know talking about how he's going to convert this girl to be like his sister, and he's talking about mother and all this and all that, and then he has a whole other family that we discover as he takes these people deeper into his ring of hell here, I guess you could call it, even though that's just me saying that this is literally what's going on. And the girl in question also starts to hear voices and stuff, and it's a really a weird movie. It's a strange movie, but it's a good movie. This has everything that any underground horror film that anybody's loved over the past few years or 10 years or so, what they talk about, what they love about those underground horror films, you get that here. And you get it really, really well made. I don't even know if we even still have a underground horror film community at this point. I don't really know if there's any really truly independent horror films with any budgets at all that gets made these days. But this fits into that category, which I think this is a couple years old. It did I think, a festival tour. It is, I think, the first film produced and made by Vinegar Syndrome, and it's also shot on 16 millimeter and 8 millimeter. So the Blu-ray looks really good. It's got that grimy look to it. It looks authentic, like it might have been made a long time ago, even though it's current. And there is gore. There's quite a bit of gore. There's some nasty scenes with some stuff. Although it's not a full-fledged gore fest. There's also some pretty cool effects that are done within camera, which makes me like it even more. So if you like a little bit of artsy, a little bit of extreme, a little bit of out of left field in your horror, then Eight Eyes is probably something I would recommend to you. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. But this movie is available, like I said, through Vinegar Syndrome. They have another version with a slip cover and whatnot you can get. They're this shot entirely on motion picture film and finished in 4K. You get a commentary track. You get plenty of interviews. You get a trailer. You can kind of read there. You pause it if you want to. Lots of stuff here with the people in the movie and people that had stuff to do with the movie is in here. There is a little bit more of a comprehensive plot if you want to pause and read that. Although what I said, I think best sums it up, if I do say so myself. Open it up. There is your disc art, but this is the reversible cover, which I think the actual slip cover version you get has that cover. I might end up switching to that, although I do kind of like this myself. very Fulci-esque. The film feels Italian in a lot of ways, which I think is 100% on purpose. And I definitely am a fan of that because we need more bizarre Italian-esque stuff, even if it isn't from Italy. But if you're looking for something different, if you look for something that looks solid, and there's just a benefit of movies on film. I think digital doesn't always it doesn't always lend itself the best to independent horror films. And I say that's the man who makes everything on digital because I can't afford to shoot on film. The film aspect does help. So if you're into a little something that looks a little bit retro but is definitely new and has a lot of stuff that all the independent people love about horror films, then this is definitely something you will want to check out.